Hi, this is Brian Sulo, CIO of Clock Tower Technology Services. I want to show you a phishing scam that we've been seeing more and more recently and get you familiar with it so you can recognize it. This happens to be an email that I received into my inbox, and it looks like a request to set up two-factor authentication for Microsoft 365. So the bad guys are actually using our security consciousness against us. There's a couple of things that tell me that this is not correct, which I will go over in a minute. But what they did here is to get around the scanning of links and such. There was no links in this email, but they did put a QR code, which I've obscured so that nobody accidentally scans it and goes to the site. But they put a QR code in there that people are used to that now, scanning a QR code with their mobile phone. Also, doing this on a mobile phone makes it a little easier for them to dupe you into giving them your credentials. So what happens when you scan this? Well, it goes to a site. It first goes to a site that they've probably just hijacked this arsaconcretos.com, and it doesn't go to the main site. It goes to a link within that site, a /images, and then my email address. But that very quickly forwards to this address, andrettaorganizer.com.br /link.html and #. And what it looks like is, again, this is probably just another compromised website that the bad guys have gotten a hold of and put their own code in. But it gives you what looks like a Microsoft 365 authentication page. It even has our logo in it. Because the original link had my email address in it, they've apparently gone to our Microsoft 365 login page and copied our logo right out of that. Now, this is not, obviously not people doing this by hand. They've automated all these processes. So I don't feel special about this. That's just, these are being sprayed out by the millions. But if I were to put my password in here, I believe what would happen would be that it would actually attempt to log me in on the back end, on the server end. I would be prompted for my two-factor authentication, and it would say, was this you attempting to log in? Of course, I would say yes, because I think it is. And then the bad guys would have access to my account. So what I want to show you is, how did I know that this was a phishing attempt? Well, if we look at the email, there's a few things that tip me off here. Well, number one, we're not doing anything with multi-factor authentication right now. We've got that set up. We've had that set up for a very long time. We haven't made any changes. You as an end user may not necessarily know that. I know your company IT maybe sometimes does things without telling you what they're doing. And you suddenly get a random email in your inbox. That's not a good thing. Your IT companies, whether it's in-house or outsourced, should tell you when they're making major changes and what you should expect. That will help prevent you from falling for these sorts of things. I also see that this is actually an old email address of mine. I don't use this email address anymore, even though it does work. Excuse me. So that tipped me off. I also see that it says Clock Tower Tech 2FA system. Now, Clock Tower Tech is our domain name. Our company name is not Clock Tower Tech. It's Clock Tower Space Technology Space Services. So we don't have anything set up that would ever come to us saying Clock Tower Tech as one word. Also, if you look here, the message came from a Japanese domain. That's nothing that we would ever use. So I haven't even gotten very far down the page yet, and there's a lot of red flags here. We can see that we also have set up this banner to appear when we get mail from outside the organization. So it's saying, hey, this is not from within your organization. Anything that comes from within our organization wouldn't have that banner. So even if they're trying to pretend that they are somebody inside the organization, this will tell us that that's not true. So other than that, this is not how Microsoft does this, and I know that because I've been through it. So again, if your IT department or your outsourced IT company is making a change, they should tell you what to expect, so you know what you're looking for, so you're not falling for something like this. So the rubric that I use when I am attempting to decide whether something is phishing or not phishing is what I've called the AEIOU method. And it's 5 questions you should ask with every email, with every text message, call, voicemail you receive. Now, that may sound kind of arduous, but this gets easier. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. So the first question, is there a requested action? So yes, in this case, there was a requested action. They were requesting me to scan a QR code and presumably to set up 2-factor authentication. So that's my first clue. I get an email that's asking me to do something. So now my, that sets the meter just a little bit higher now of, okay, let me be a little extra suspicious. Did I expect this message? No, I didn't. This just arrived out of the blue. I didn't do anything to solicit this message. I wasn't trying to get access to anything. I wasn't logging into anything. It just showed up in my inbox. So again, I'm a little more suspicious. It's asking me to do something, and I didn't expect the message. Will I disclose information? Well, just by scanning the QR code, I'm not disclosing any information. However, by going to the website, I guess I am disclosing that the message made it to me and that it is a valid email box. But when I go to enter my password, as it's asking me to do, I am disclosing information. I'm disclosing my password. So that is yet another flag. Then the fourth question, the O in the AEIOU, how do I verify this message is official? So it seems a little suspicious. I want to make sure that I'm not getting duped. So how do I verify that? Well, the way that I did it in this case is I looked back at where it was coming from, and I noticed that was not, didn't seem like an official address from that Japanese website. Other ways you can do this, in this instance, you could call your IT company. You have, or your IT department. You have their number. You have a help desk number. Call them up. Say, hey, I just got this. Is this legit? Speaking as an IT professional, I would rather get 10 of those calls every day than one call a year saying I got hacked. My email box got compromised because I let somebody in. And then finally, is the message urgent? So most of the time, phishing attacks will have some sort of false urgency associated with them. They'll want you to do something right away. In this case, it didn't have that. It didn't have that vibe of you have to do this now or your account will be locked out or anything like that. But that is a very common thing that phishing attacks have. So I hope that helps. Use this AEIOU method. Remember, is there an action requested? Did you expect the message? Will you disclose information? How do you verify it's official? And is the message urgent? I hope that this helps you to avoid things like this in the future. And if you ever have a question, feel free to give me a call. Feel free to give us a call at Clock Tower, and we'd be happy to help you out. Thanks a lot.